Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for the cut file crew. So the cut file we're using today was designed by one of my teammates, Mel, and originally it had 9 circles and I've hand trimmed it down to 6. So for this layout I've decided to use an old hip kit and it was called Chase the Sun. I believe it was from the summer of 2022. I really like this stripy background paper. I love all the colours in it. So I'm going to use that as the basis of the layout. Now I have used this collection before, so I've got in a tray there a mixture of the embellishments and the puffy letters and words and all the bits and pieces that came with this kit. So I've printed some photographs and I've cut them with a metal die. I cut 4 from a trip, and I'm actually at the moment thinking I only want to use 3. I want to use the cut file as the base to build everything else upon for this layout. I really like the direction of the stripes in the cut file, and I think the white really pops against the coloured pattern paper beneath it. So far I'm really happy with the way it's going and with the decisions that I've made. So I've got these 3 photographs. They're all quite colourful, which is fine because it means I can bring in all the sorts of colours that are in these embellishments. And I'm planning of adding a cluster around each photograph and maybe a few bits around the title, which I think will stay as Fun Vacation. The photos themselves were taken earlier on this year in the holiday in Florida. So at the very beginning of this video, you notice that I just altered the cut file. I think cut files are really versatile. I mean, I've cut this in white cardstock, but I could have cut it equally out of the stripy pattern paper. I preferred it not to have the 9 circles, I preferred it to have 6, and you can just make them your own. So there's lots of free cut files out there, and others that are inexpensive. And if they're not quite what you want, it's very easy to alter, and then you can make the layout that you want. And because I'm adding clusters to the 6 circles, the piece at the bottom third, because it's empty but obviously it's patterned, it's just more restful, and I think it just makes for a more pleasing layout. So I'm still looking at the clusters. There's some really nice die cut leaves in this set, so I think I'll be adding some of those underneath the photo at the top left. I've got a nice sunset there top right, and I'm not so sure what I want to add to that at the moment. And the middle photograph, I'm adding things. It's a beach photo with these beautiful coloured umbrellas, and I'm adding bits of ephemera that you would take to a beach. So that one's coming together quite quickly. There's an umbrella and a bag and flip-flops and a drink and things like that. So also I'm going to be layering these up later on using foam pads. I'm going to add a couple of bits to the other circles, but nothing as detailed. So I really quite like these little flowers, so I think they might get added to the other ones. So if you haven't met the Cut File crew before, I'd recommend you check them out on Instagram. It's a group of crafters from Europe who take a cut file once a month that's free and all design with it. So you'll find the majority of scrapbookers, but you'll find cards, you'll find the covers of notebooks and lots of inspiration. So they're based on IG, as I say. So if you have a look for the hashtag #CutFileCrew, you'll find years of inspiration and layouts there that you can have a look through. So I mentioned at the beginning that this was a kit from Hip Kit from last year. I'm on a mission at the moment that I'm trying to use up supplies that I seem to be collecting and not using. So even though I did do a couple of layouts, I think originally when this kit arrived, I've left the rest in the bag, and they all take up space, don't they? So I'm actually trying to be really productive and use things up, and I can't believe how many embellishments I've got to choose from and how much of this I never actually used at the time. So I'm going to do a use it or lose it. Luckily I've got a couple of avenues locally where if there's something I don't want or I can't find a use for, that I can, it's not going to waste. But I need to actually do a bit of sorting, definitely. So I wasn't quite sure about the photograph. There's one of our feet on the beach in Florida, but actually in the end I decided that the sunset is a better coloured photograph. I think the other one was a bit too wishy-washy. It won't go to waste. I do store the photos that I've printed that I don't use, and maybe it will get cut down into a smaller rectangle for something else maybe. I don't normally cut my photographs to a shape, but I thought with the circular cut file it kind of echoed it really nicely, and there's actually some embellishments in this range that are circular too, so I was hoping to at least try and get at least one or two of those on as well. So it did take a little bit of placement to get the dies to cut exactly where I wanted, and I did print the photos that bit bigger to be able to do that. So I've tidied the desk a little bit, moved things back into the tray. I think I've got most of the bits that I would like to use. Little pile there on the right of things that still might actually make it on and still actually are catching my eye. There's a little shell there that I had with the beach at the bottom, and I think, yeah, I can use that little embellishment and get that in there. I don't like to be rushed, so it's hilarious really. I would never, speed scrapper is not what I am, but actually it's just the way it is. I do enjoy the moving around. Some people find this really frustrating to watch, so I do apologise if you're one of those people, but I kind of, sometimes I even go and make a cup of tea, come back, have another look, stop the camera in between, and I just have a little bit of think what I want it to look like, because sometimes I have an image in my mind and it never quite works out that way. So it's just what it is. So I've just got some felt clouds. Now they are from another Hip Kit range, not the one that I'm using, but they must have got separated and got put in this kit. And I'm definitely going to add 3 or 4 of those across the layout. And I've just started to add some puffy hearts to them, which I really like too. So I think I'll be echoing that on all of the clouds. It is really nice to have lots of choice, but I do sometimes find that I'm more focused when I've got less supplies in front of me. And that's why sometimes I clear the desk when I'm working, once I've made some major decisions. So obviously there's no other pattern paper on here, the rest is all embellishments, which is fine. So then I can go through and maybe look at the colours that I want to use. But sometimes I can find it quite overwhelming, and I think some scrapbookers find that when they've got quite a bit of stash that they've built up, where to actually start. I know that some people make page kits and try to put stuff together in advance. I find that sometimes a bit difficult to do. I can be spontaneous with my choices, but I find it very difficult to be spontaneous when it comes to sticking it down. But hey, I've just found a little sticker there that I'm going to add to that bottom left circle that says Loving Life. It goes quite nicely between those 2 flowers. And I'm just still messing with that right cluster, but I think that house is now going to stay. So I stuck this down off camera rather than subject you to that as well. So thank you so much for watching. Do check out the Cut File crew. Do have a look at any free cut files. There's loads of inspiration out there. If you would like to come back another time, subscribe to my channel and give us a thumbs up. That would be great. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.